Right now, we turn, though, to the Middle East. Anjali?
That's right, Amy. We turn now to the Middle East. It was early Monday morning as Israeli soldiers stormed the Gaza-bound international aid convoy called the Freedom Flotilla in international waters about 40 miles off the coast of Gaza. The 6 ships had nearly 700 international activists on board and 10,000 tons of humanitarian aid. They were aiming to break the 3-year-long siege of the Gaza Strip. Israeli commandos landed on the lead ship in the convoy, the Turkish Mavi Marmara, which had about 600 activists on board. These are excerpts from the raw video captured by an Al Jazeera producer on the ship, minutes before the ship lost satellite contact with the world. It features 2 of the journalists on board.
This is the MC Marmara. This is Hassan Ghani reporting for Press TV. We have had several injuries here. One is critical. He has been injured in the head. We think he may die if he does not receive medical treatment immediately. Another person being taken past in front of me right now has been seriously injured. We are being hit by tear gas, stun grenades. We have Navy ships on either side and helicopters overhead. We are being attacked from every single side. This is in international waters, not Israeli waters, not in the 68-mile exclusion zone. We are being attacked in international waters completely illegally.
To confirm and update you, the Israeli Navy has now boarded the Mavi Marmara, where 600 civilians have been trying to deliver aid to Gaza. Live munition has been fired. There are reports that 1 person has been killed. Several I have seen with my eyes have been injured. We've seen them, doctors trying to work to heal the injured. The organizers on board the Mavi Marmara, after 2 people have been confirmed killed by the Israeli army, have now asked all the passengers to go inside. They've raised the white flag. This after Israeli commandos descended upon the ship in international water from a helicopter, as well as surrounded it by vessels from all sides. Tens of people, civilians, have been injured. There are still sounds of live fire despite the white flag being raised. Tens of people have been injured. 2 people have been killed on board the ship, which holds 600 activists, parliamentarians, women, children and the elderly, all of whom are civilians. Organizers have asked everyone to go inside, so this is where we shall head. Jamal Al-Shayal, Al Jazeera, on board the Mavi Marmara in international waters of the Mediterranean Sea.
That's a video from an Al Jazeera producer on board the Mavi Marmara before losing satellite contact with the world early Monday morning. At least 10 and as many, according to some reports, as 19 civilians on board the ship have been reported to have died in the attack. There's been a near-complete blackout of information. Israeli troops proceeded to seize the Mavi Marmara and the 5 other ships and take them to the port of Ashdod. Hundreds of activists are being detained in an Israeli prison and nearly 50 others have been deported. Israel has still not released the names of the dead, the injured and the detained international civilians. 3 Turkish activists who were deported back to Istanbul late Monday night spoke to journalists. This is Mutlu Tiryaki describing the ordeal on board the Mavi Marmara.
When we stepped on the board, they emerged from helicopters and military boats and attacked us. They approached our vessel with military ships after issuing a military warning. We told them we were unarmed. Our sole weapon was water.
The United Nations Security Council has condemned the attack and called for the immediate release of the ships and the civilians held by Israel, and also called for an impartial investigation. All of the permanent members of the Security Council, except for the United States, explicitly called for Israel's blockade of the Gaza Strip to be lifted. Turkey has compared Israel's actions to state terrorism. At the Emergency Security Council meeting Monday, Turkish Foreign Minister Ahmet Davutoglu described the incident as murder and piracy.
This action was uncalled for. Israeli actions constitute a grave breach of international law. In simplest terms, this is tantamount to banditry and piracy. It is murder conducted by a state. It has no excuses, no justification whatsoever. A nation state that follows this path has lost its legitimacy as a respectful member of the international community.
But Israel insists that its troops had acted in self-defense after being attacked by those on board. Israel's deputy permanent representative to the United Nations, Daniel Carmon, said the civilians on the ship were not peace activists.
What kind of peace activists use knives, clubs, fire from weapons stolen from soldiers and other weapons to attack soldiers who board the ship in accordance with international law? What kind of humanitarian activists, some with known terrorist history, embrace Hamas, a terrorist organization that openly shuns a two-state solution and calls for Israel's destruction, defying conditions set by the international community and the Quartet? The answer is clear. There are not peace activists.
Although governments across the world have strongly condemned Israel's attack, the United States says it's still gathering the facts and regrets the loss of life. This is the U.S. Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations, Alejandro Wolf.
We are working to ascertain the facts. We expect a credible and transparent investigation and strongly urge the Israeli government to investigate the incident fully. As I stated in the Council chamber in December 2008, when we were confronted with a similar situation, mechanisms exist for the transfer of humanitarian assistance to Gaza by member states and groups that want to do so. These non-provocative and non-confrontational mechanisms should be the ones used for the benefit of all those in Gaza.
Meanwhile, thousands of people in cities across the world, from Turkey to Europe to the United States to Pakistan, have come out on the streets to protest the bloody attack on the humanitarian aid convoy. Yes.
This is totally inhumane. None can defend this inhumane violence.
I'm here today because I'm an American Jew, and I totally am opposed to what Israel is doing, killing those people on the boat who were trying to bring material aid to a starving, imprisoned people is an insane crime, and it doesn't represent the values of Jews and all people around the world.
The truth is that Israel is not the only one responsible. All the official Arab regimes are responsible for this crime. Obama is responsible. The international community is responsible. The International Criminal Court, they became responsible when they remained silent about the crimes being committed against the people of Gaza.
Israel is continuously breaking international law, and it has never lived up to any United Nations resolution. And we have seen a lot of times that both the European Union and the United States have told Israel that they went too far.
It depends on people. We have to force our government to react. We have to force Europe to react because this is a humiliation to Europe. A cocky mobster who dares to do what Israel has done in the Mediterranean and international waters. What kind of security do we have in the Mediterranean? That's the question we should ask ourselves.
I know the people on board. They are people from all walks of life. There are teachers, there are professors, there are journalists, there are politicians, there are cleaners. These are people like you and me who believe in taking aid to poor people, and these are the people that have been gunned down in cold blood by Israel today.
Voices of shock and outrage from around the world over the Israeli commando attack on the Gaza peace flotilla. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. When we come back, we'll be joined by a number of guests. Stay with us.
وأوفوا للوطن أنتم وعودوا قال محارب ذيب حزك أوتار عودوا بحي في سواعد هالشباب